So let's get started measuring your pool. Here's a key point. All of the measurements are taken either vertical or horizontal and not down any slopes or angles. Let's start with the top view. We will be measuring while we're standing on the pool deck. We're going to measure the pool lengthwise, working from the deep end wall. Now take the chalk and place a mark right on the deck in line with the deep end wall of the pool. Next, let's take a few steps towards the shallow end and look down into the pool. Visualize where the deep end wall intersects with the hopper. On the pool deck, place another chalk mark corresponding to that area. Next, let's move over a little bit to where the hopper meets the ramp. Again, look down into the water and place a chalk mark on the deck at that location. Now let's move over to where the ramp meets the shallow end. Once again, place a chalk mark on the deck. And finally, let's go to the shallow end wall and place a chalk mark at that location. As you can see, we now have 5 chalk marks on the deck. So let's measure the distance between the first 2 chalk marks and record them on the form under the letter A as in alpha. Measure between the next 2 chalk marks and log them on the sheet under the letter B as in Bravo. Measure the distance between the next set of chalk marks and show that on the form under the letter C as in Charlie. And finally, move over and measure between the last set of chalk marks, and that should be listed under D as in Delta. By adding the letters A, B, C, and D together, you should equal the letter L, which is the equivalent of the length of the pool. Let's move on to the deck by the deep end. These 3 measurements will be E, Echo, F, Foxtrot, and G, Golf, and are taken by standing on the deck at the deep end and facing the shallow end of the pool. First, make a chalk mark on the deck where the long wall intersects with the short wall as shown. Let's move over, look into the water, and estimate where the angle of the wall on your left side joins into the flat area of the hopper. Place a chalk mark on the deck at this location. Keep moving over and using the same procedure, estimate where the opposite or right wall blends into the hopper and mark the deck at that location. Now move over to the leftover corner and place a chalk mark on the deck where the long wall meets the short wall. Okay, let's measure between the first set of chalk marks and list this on our form under the letter E. Then let's move over to the next set of chalk marks and measure between them. List this as the letter F. And finally, the last set of marks, measure between them and list this as the letter G. If you add E, F, and G together, they should equal the full width of the pool. This full width will be listed as W1 on the form. While we're at it, let's go down to the shallow end and measure across the shallow end wall. This is called W2. Okay, it's time to measure the depth of the pool hopper. You'll need a weight for the end of your tape measure and your pool pole. Attach the weight to the end of your tape measure. Place the pool pole across the width of the pool directly over the center of the deep end. Stand at the deep end of the pool, about where the diving board would be, and with the numbers on the tape showing skyward, toss the weighted end of the tape measure over your pool pole. Feed out enough tape to allow the weight to touch the bottom. Read the dimension on the tape at the location that is flush or even with the deck of the pool. Now subtract the distance from the bead track to the top of the deck from the measurement, and this becomes your H dimension to be placed on the form. It's time to measure the height of the wall in the shallow end of your pool. We call this the I dimension. It's a good idea to check this measurement in more than one place to be sure the wall is fairly consistent in height. Note, the wall will meet the floor in one of the following three ways. A 90-degree corner, in which case you would take the measurement from the slot in the track directly down the wall to the pool floor. Second option is a 45-degree angle, where you would measure from the slot in the track down to the top of the angle. Or, in the third case, a rounded or radius corner. In this case, you would measure from the slot in the track down the wall to the beginning of the radius curve. The last two dimensions we need are the K, kilo dimension, and the J, Juliet dimension. To get the K dimension, place a string directly over the break that defines the shallow area from the ramp. Hook the string into the track on one side of the pool and have your assistant hold the other end of it at the track level on the opposite side of the pool. Using the string as a baseline, go to the center of the string and measure down to the floor at the break. Log this as the K dimension on your form. And finally, the J dimension. This is the equivalent of taking the H dimension and subtracting out the I dimension. H minus I equals J. One more thing. If you have a set of steps, the type that need to be cut out of the liner during the installation, let us know where they're at, and we will be sure to place the wall seam at that location so it can be cut out. If you don't have that style of step, we can place the wall seam at the skimmer location, so if you let us know where that's at, that would be helpful. Before we let you go, here's a few tips on how to make an intelligent liner purchasing decision. Consider this. Let's say you're in the market for a new washing machine, and you've checked around and pretty well decided that the one you want is a Maytag washer model number 1200 XL front loader. Now this specific unit is sold everywhere, online, in appliance stores, warehouse, home improvement stores, you get the picture. They're readily available, and because everyone offers the exact same product, you know exactly what you're buying. With this type of product, you can usually make a final purchasing decision based solely on the price. In contrast to the washing machine purchase, there are some items we would never order strictly because they're lower priced. When an item is custom made, there are always differences in the final product. In the vinyl liner industry, as in many industries that make custom products, there are ways to cut corners that degrade the quality of the final merchandise. For example, if the premium vinyl is too expensive, a manufacturer can order regrind, vinyl that's reclaimed, reground, and reprocessed. It's definitely cheaper than the better quality virgin vinyls available, but it does not weather very well and has a history of separating where seams on a liner are fused together. Or vinyl can be imported to make the liners. That's cheaper, but if there's ever a warranty issue, trying to get a company in a foreign country to honor it could be quite a challenge. Be sure your liner is made in the United States and that it's made out of virgin vinyls. Another way to cut manufacturing costs is to shortcut the design process when tailoring the liner to fit your pool. In today's business environment, the pressure to produce products faster is usually perceived as a good thing. When designing a vinyl liner, attention to detail is critical to a perfect fit and an easy installation. Our 40-plus years experience in designing and manufacturing the perfect fit pool liner makes us the choice of professional installers and homeowners alike. Finally, if a company were to use cheaper, unskilled labor and not experienced professionals to manufacture your liner, a few $100s per liner can be saved. and the final finished product would be a direct reflection of the poor workmanship. Experience tells us that there are companies online and in bricks and mortar stores that will sell you an $800 liner for $1,500. Usually those are the ones that sell hundreds or thousands of different products. They cannot possibly know very much about any of their products. There's just way too many of them. To expect a quality custom product from that type of company is pretty unrealistic. When ordering a custom liner factory direct from Ameri-Brand, a $2,200 liner can be purchased for the same $1,500. And each liner we sell is custom made to fit a specific pool for a specific customer. Not off the shelf, not imported, totally custom. This means a much easier installation, one that takes a few hours, not a few days, and we guarantee a perfect fit. That's why our liners typically outlast most on the market. Always purchase a custom product from a specialist, one that asks you the right questions, one that goes the extra mile and takes all the necessary steps to ensure that the fit is perfect, the materials are of the highest quality, and the whole process from measuring to the completion of the installation goes as smoothly as possible. Well, that's about all we have for now. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We appreciate your interest in our products. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to give us a call at 800-982-6966 or visit our main website at www.websweeper.com.